Hi everyone. I really wish I could move as gracefully as those people. I can move my hips, but the timing and all is gone. For this talk, you must have a handout. Thank you. This is the piece of paper you need. If you come from one family, please share one. It's coming around. Share as far as possible. This is a very short briefing on what it means to care for someone long term and to care for someone who is resistant or maybe in denial or anything like that. Okay, friends, here, let's start. Don't worry about the handout for now. Put it away for a little while. Listen, very quickly, look at the screen. This is about caregiver burnout. You know what that means? When you're caring for someone, you'll have a lot of stress. When the stress reaches a very high level, you will feel very stressed out and you become dysfunctional. You suffer, and it's called burnout. That means it's just like the candle, suffering, 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 and it burns out. Excuse me. Now remember this diagram, please. It's an important diagram to look at. When people care, they care at different levels. It is like the first level is caring for the patient, the client, the relative, the friend, or someone else. Then we have immediate family. We have extended family. We have friends. We have people who work with us. And then we have professionals. Remember this diagram here. You can't see it clearly. The inside is the patient. The patient affects the family around them. The family is affected, but the friends around them are affected too. So many different people are affected at different levels. Imagine this. If I have a heart attack, I suffer first. The next level is my wife and children. Then maybe my father, mother, and my uncles and aunties. Then maybe my neighborhood will also say, so sad lah, Paul had a heart attack. And then it goes on and on and on. So the further away it goes, the lesser the effect. So you must remember that the main effect always goes from inside out. No, people from the outside don't know what's happening on the inside. They can only feel a little bit of what's happening. But what happens at home? I've got diabetes, I'm fighting with my wife, my children are upset that I'm not following medication. All this stuff is happening inside. Then the friends might know, or you might tell your relatives, might go on and go on and go on, and then Pakatan Harapan is not interested in your diabetes. They're too far away, you know. But if Mahathir got diabetes, I mean, everybody will know about it, right? So you must remember that we are in the center of all these circles. It is like this, you see. When you throw a stone in a pond, the pond is nice and calm. But when you throw a stone in the pond, the point of impact is a flash, right? After the splash, you have a small wave. The biggest wave is when you throw the stone in the pond. Boof! And then the wave becomes smaller, smaller, smaller and disappears. Have you seen that? You understand that? Imagine if you throw a big rock in the pond. It is a big splash. So the family is badly affected. The patient is badly affected. And then the waves carry on. Sometimes the waves are so bad that if your daughter comes home and says, Daddy, I've been diagnosed with HIV. Oh my gosh! So that the wave is not a small wave. That wave is a tsunami wave. It is very big and the wave will go very far. Or Daddy, I lost $5. Someone scratched my car. Where is my handphone? I lost it. Those are small, small waves. I am diabetic. It's going to affect me, my family, my friends. It's going to affect many people, right? You understand that? Now, the areas of impact for someone who has diabetes. When someone has diabetes, it impacts, the diagnosis is the splash. You have diabetes, bang. Treatment issues. Prognosis is What is the future like? How is the disease going to get better or worse? Quality of life, communication within the family, your spirituality, not religious. Your spirituality, your belief in something greater than you is also affected. Why this? Why God punishing me? Some people think God punished you with diabetes because you're a naughty boy. If you believe that, okay, but it'll affect that too. Your sexuality. I'm doing research in Monash now, how breast cancer affects people's sexuality, self-esteem, body esteem. They've lost their breasts, and so their sexuality is affected. Diabetes also, sexuality is a big thing in relationships. Don't be shy about it. I've got diabetes, my blood pressure is one kind, I cannot have an erection, or the lady, you're affected because you're dry, you're painful. All of these things must be considered. Fear, living with diabetes, money going out, pain, going to die, someone died, bereavement. All of these things are areas of impact. Are you aware of some of these things? Yes, these are very real things. Now the next question is, characteristics of the patient. Let's just focus on the patient, the one who's suffering from diabetes or any other disease. They are unique. Everyone, their background is different. Their circumstances in life are different. The nature of illness is different. People involved in their lives are all different. Their spirituality is different. Sexuality is different. Their intelligence, emotionally and educationally, is different. Their experience is different. We get children who are 11 years old with diabetes. We got adolescents at 17 with diabetes. We got people at 60 with diabetes. Everyone's life experience is different. Oops, sorry. Back. Thank you. And it goes on and on and on. Now, just look at this list carefully and you will realize that every patient who's diagnosed with diabetes will have some of these issues with regard to them. This is the patient. I'm going to ask you now, tell me what are the characteristics of the caregiver. How many of you here are caregivers? Raise your hand. Okay, whoa, a few caregivers. Very good, very good. But the rest of you, are you relatives or are you all diabetic patients? I wonder. But if you're thinking of the diabetic patient, remember that everyone is different. Everything about everyone is different. Never the same. Now I want to ask you about the caregiver, the nurse, the wife, the children, the grandchildren, anyone who's looking after someone with diabetes for a long time. It's called chronic management of disease. Do you know what the characteristics of the caregiver are like? See. Same. They're exactly the same. Do you know why? Because as a caregiver, if I'm looking after someone with diabetes, I'm a human being. And they are a human being. Same things, same differences. But I'm looking after them for so long. I am giving, helping. And I am getting more and more tired, more and more stressed. You know, when you look after someone long term, it's called the costs of caregiving. When you look after someone for long term, there is an emotional strain. There is financial strain because you are so well-meaning, you're committed. You want to look after them. So you're tired, you have stressed. I know one nurse who was looking after a cancer patient for a long time, looking after them at home. Before the cancer patient died, the nurse died. She had a heart attack and died because she wasn't looking after herself. She didn't realize that she had a stroke and then she died. Now, it's really, really sad how people can look after it. Such a nice story. It's called altruism. You care unselfishly, but you care. Your petrol tank goes down and then your car stops. Your engine stops working. Depression, other psychological problems. Again, I mentioned the word divorce. Why? Because, you know, if my wife is spending all the time looking after her mother, I must respect that. But look after me, our relationship, the children's relationship, everything else gets spoiled. So there are domestic problems too. Even now, till today, I get a phone call at 11 or 1 or 2 in the morning saying, attempted suicide, please come to the hospital. I get up and go. I come back tired and my children and my wife say, Daddy, not enough sleep, la you. You better rest. And then after I come back 2 hours later, the family of the case comes and says, we want to see the psychologist now. So I am burning out and my family is concerned too. So just like all of you, those of you who care, everybody else is concerned about you too. You should start being concerned about yourself. We will come to that soon. The word immunosuppression, very important word. You have something called soldiers inside your body, the defense mechanism. It's called your immune system. When you don't eat well, you don't sleep well, you're tired and exhausted, your soldiers inside the body, they die. They are called NK cells. Your immune system becomes very low. And you know what? Listen to this very carefully. The lower your immune system goes, the higher the risk of you getting cancer. Easy to get cancer. The lower your immune system goes, you'll have bacteria and viral infections very easily. So your immune system is compromised when you're stressed out, really badly. So you must look after your immune system. You can't see it, but you need to sleep, eat, exercise. There's so many things to do, and I'm giving you this paper now. Remember this, guys. Caregivers are not immune to trauma. The nurses who work in the hospital, the doctors who work in the accident and emergency, you who look after young people, old people at home, you do not escape trauma and injury. You suffer too. And we must feel sorry for you. It's called compassion fatigue. It's called compassion fatigue, okay? You spend so much time being compassionate, there's fatigue, and then you burn out, you die. Okay, now we can look at your page 2. Now look at this list. I'm going to read through this list once only. This list, guys, is not a clinical tool. I've written that down at the bottom, but it is supposed to help you understand this. These are the warning signs you must look out for as a caregiver, someone who's always caring for other people. Whether you start abusing drugs, alcohol, or eating too much, or maybe not eating enough, you get angry, you blame others, your schedule goes out of timing, you're depressed, you don't look after yourself and your priorities, you feel exhausted, you get headaches, your stomach complains, cannot digest, it's bloating, you have constipation or diarrhea, you feel hopeless, alamak, don't know where this is going to go. Number 11 is important. I am helping. No one is rewarding me. I'm overlooked. No one is giving me any attention. Then your blood pressure goes up. You become irritable. You're frustrated. You can't feel happiness and joy. You don't feel good about yourself. You're working too much. Your sleep has problems. You don't bathe on time. You don't rest on time. You don't comb your hair nicely or go to the hairdresser because you're rushing to help someone else. You get angry with the patient. And when you get angry with the patient, you feel guilty. Alamak, how can I feel this way towards the patient? And then that's guilt and shame. And then you have other issues as well. Now, what I'd like you to do is take this home and tick whether you as a caregiver have any of these problems. Just tick first. If you tick 4 or 5, if you tick 4 or 5, you must start dealing with something. We call it self-care. You must start looking after yourself. Because if you have 4 or 5 of these negative issues, your life is going downhill. No point. I'm a dive master. I'm also a rescue diver. When we teach people how to be rescue divers, you know what that means, huh? Scuba diving. So you become a rescue diver. You rescue other people in trouble. The first rule we learn in rescue diving is rescue yourself first. In the aeroplane, when there's an emergency, they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put for your children. If you are not in a position of good health and sound mind, you cannot help anybody because 2 people are going to die. If you jump to help someone who's drowning and you don't know how to swim, 2 are going to die. Better you don't jump. Safer, let someone else jump in. But you must, as a caregiver, you must look after yourself first. Then I've put in 1 to 10 scores. So if you say, Paul, I'm actually a strong guy, I've ticked 10 lah. But my severity is all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If you can cope, good. But I still say you must see a professional. If it is going to 5 or 10, my friend, that particular area needs help. So you must see a professional, or see a counselor, or see your diabetes support group, or the Nestle support group. You must actually get together and start sorting it out. Next one. Okay. This is page 1. Page 1. The bottom half of page 1 tells you what to do. Like I said, if you tick several of the problems earlier on, you must be involved in health, self-care. Self-care. Now this tells you what to do. Forget about the screen. This tells you what to do on page 1. The do's and don'ts. I will not go through the list, but at least a couple of the do's. Number 1 is so important. You must start talking to someone else. Not your relative, not your husband, try and talk to a professional or a counselor or a friend, not a relative. What else is important? Number 11 is very important. You must have balance in your own life. Please. My mother is always worried. When I was young itself, I'll do anything to help anyone. And I'll jump in the sea, I'll jump on the road, I'll get out of the car and run across the highway to help. And my mother's always worried, saying, Paul, you're going to die. You're going to die helping someone. No point lah. And now I'm even more concerned because I have got a wife, I've got 2 kids, and I must look after my old parents, and yet I'm seeing and helping so many other people. I need balance in my life. They're pulling me this side, pulling me that side, university pulls me this side, everyone pulls me every side. But I need balance. And you cannot blame anybody. You can only blame yourself if you don't decide no is no. When you ask all the top consultant doctors, pediatricians, psychologists, we have so many people on the wait list. Call, appointment. But I can only see 4 or 5 people a day. At the end of the day, I look at my phone, appointment. Sorry, cannot, thank you. I have to sleep. I need to have dinner with my kids. I need to do exercise. So all of you must remember that. The most important person in caregiving is yourself. You must get yourself in order. Do not wait till you tick all 22 lines. That means you need to be cared for already. You have to come to a hospital. So have a look at the do's and don't list. The do's list is very good, guys. Very, very good. There is something there in point at 19. Number 19 is very easy to do. Please go to YouTube, type in mindfulness, and they will help you meditate while you listen to mindfulness. It's important for you to relax and let all the worries go out, live in the moment, and let your body recover. At least 2 or 3 times a day. So please do that too. Moving on. This is the top half of page 1. It is from scientific literature. This also, my friends, if you tick more than 4, please talk to someone who knows more than you about caring for yourself. It's crucial. Please remember this. If you do not look after yourself, you are going to die. Do you know, it's such a funny thing, guys, that people who look after diabetic people in a big way, long-term looking after them, they develop diabetes. Funnily enough, their sugar levels go up because they are so stressed, it's maintained so high, and they begin to develop diabetes. People who look after cancer patients, they also develop cancer at some stage because they don't look after themselves. So please remember, this is called compassion fatigue. It means compassion is a good thing. I'm so proud of people who care for other people. But please take my word, my last sentence is, you must care for yourself first. Not selfishly, but do it because you love somebody else. Thank you very much.